Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are comparing two of the top 3 launch monitors I have ever tested, the Foresight Falcon and the Uneekor EYEXO2. And we're gonna let you know which device is right for you. Let's get into it. Now, first we're gonna talk about accuracy of the devices. Now, with the Uneekor EYEXO2 and the Foresight Falcon, when we talk about ball data accuracy, these are top of the line. Essentially, Uneekor, Foresight, and Trackmn are the top of the line in terms of ball data accuracy, and I think they're really about a tie for all of them. The readings you get in terms of carry yardages, backspin, side spin, how far offline is it going, just all the metrics that go into reading the golf ball, they're top of the line, and I think they're all within 99.9% of what that outdoor shot would be. So for these devices, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a tie. Now, next we're gonna talk about club data accuracy. And I wanna be clear on this, people get confused. Club data has no effect on what your ball is doing. So if the club data reading is off, that won't affect your ball readings and where your ball is going on the screen. You use that club data to help fix your swing and essentially change your ball flight by fixing your golf swing. Now, when it comes to club data, it's hard to decide which one is better. Which one is more accurate? I'm gonna say for sure the Foresight Falcon. The club data on the Falcon is as good as it gets. Well, now you're probably thinking, if the Foresight is way better at club data accuracy, why are you saying it would even be close? Well, here's the reason. With the Foresight Falcon, I need to put 4 stickers on every single club to get club data. You can do it with 1, but you don't get all the club data. Regardless, I'll put 4 stickers on for me, but I'm not gonna put 4 stickers on for all my buddies who come over. And if you're a club fitter, like, I wouldn't wanna put a ton of stickers on for everyone I'm fitting. So while the club data is top of the line, I don't love the use of stickers, and the hitting area changes. So if you're gonna get club data from the Foresight Falcon, you don't get a hit from the center of the mat, you have to hit from the left or right side of the mat. But that being said, club data accuracy, it does not get better than the Foresight Falcon. Every single club data metric I get, whether it's face impact, whether it's my club path or face angle, I trust it 100%. Now let's talk about the Uneekor EYEXO2. To get the most accurate data, you do need club stickers, but it gives you club data without club stickers. Now, what I will say is the averages of this club data are probably gonna be very close to what the Foresight Falcon would put out. But what's different from shot to shot, it's not gonna be quite as accurate. Stickers make it the most accurate. Without stickers, it's gonna be the least accurate. And overall, I would just say I get enough of questionable club data readings that I don't 100% trust the club data on the Uneekor EYEXO2 compared to the Foresight Falcon. But the reason we still went with the Uneekor EYEXO2 over the Foresight Falcon is because on top of that club data, you also get video replay of your club in slow motion and photo impact of where your ball hit on the club face. And for us, that trumps the club data accuracy of the Foresight Falcon. And here's the reason why. 1, the club data measurements are awesome, but it's better, in my opinion, to see your club path on a video in slow motion. It's better to see a picture of where it actually hit on your club face. So while the club data isn't quite as accurate as the Foresight Falcon, you can see it with your own eyes in the video, and that allows you to correct things from there. So all that being said, club data accuracy, better on the Falcon, but the club data features and the ability to transform your game with those features, I think, is better on the Uneekor. Now, next, let's move on to the features of the device, because like I said, I do like the Uneekor better in the features department, and ultimately the reason we ended up going with the Uneekor was because of the better features. So first off, the video replay and the photo impact on your club face. We talked about it a little bit ago, but Foresight Falcon doesn't have this, and really a launch monitor at that price point that doesn't have slow motion video replay of your club, it's a shame on Foresight. For how good the device is, how much it costs, every other device, even ones that are significantly cheaper, offer video replay. So I'm disappointed that Foresight doesn't have it, because I think it would completely change the device and how I would rate it if it did have this feature. So on the features department, like I said, I like that better on the Uneekor. Another couple features that people won't think about, but when you use the device day to day that really make a difference, is the audio tone of when the device is ready to hit and the hitting area. So what I mean by that, we had some issues with the Foresight Falcon. With the Falcon, when you put your ball down, it will go from a blinking light to a solid color, letting you know you're ready to hit. Now, this is all great, but the issue with that is you have to look up every single time to make sure it's ready to go. And if you put it in a place that should read, but it just isn't picking up the ball for whatever reason, then you swing, hit the ball, and then it just doesn't pick up any reading. So that doesn't seem like it should happen, but we had it happen like 5 or 6 times a day with certain people. Certain people would put like a tee and a ball right in the center of the normal hitting area, and it just wouldn't register that it was ready to read. So they would swing and then they would get a no read. So we'd get a lot of no reads on the Falcon, not necessarily because the device no read, but because their system of letting you know when it was ready to go wasn't super efficient. With the Uneekor, there's a little audio ting that goes off letting you know the device is ready to go. And you can turn that off or turn that as low as you want, but we essentially never have no reads anymore because of that audio ting. And then the other thing that we like is to get club data, you can put the ball anywhere on the mat. For some reason with the Foresight Falcon, if you want club data, you don't get a hit from the center of the mat. It's like 1.5 foot offset to the left if you're a lefty, 1.5 foot offset to the right if you're a righty. So that's a little bit of a downside because if I want club data, my hitting area is smaller and I'm off-centered, which is a little bit of a pain. So that was a lot of stuff. To recap, ball data accuracy, tie. Club data accuracy, Foresight Falcon has the edge. Features, Uneekor EYEXO2 has the edge. Now let's move on to the price of the devices, because even though the initial price of the Foresight is more, they're actually pretty close. Now before we get into price, what we're gonna say is these can vary depending on the time of year you buy it, but if you wanna get either of these devices at the lowest possible price, we have discount codes and links below that are gonna help you get those at the lowest price. So first off, let's start with the Foresight Falcon. 15 grand, but if you use code GolfBusters 10, it's right above 14 grand. I think 14,250. So expensive, but when you buy it, no subscription fees after that. You can use their default Foresight software, which is an incredible software, and the only time you'll get subscription fees is if you decide to go with GS Pro. And even then, I think their first year of GS Pro is free. So you're talking right about 14 grand, at most $250 a year. You can use it by spending no money a year. The Uneekor EYEXO2 is right now, I think with our discount code, it's right above 10 grand, but you do have some subscription fees. Now, the good news, if you buy with our link in Rain or Shine Golf, you get the first year subscription with Uneekor absolutely free, but you are gonna wanna add GS Pro. GS Pro and Uneekor, it's the best combo. It's our favorite combo. So you're probably spending $250 a year on Uneekor for GS Pro. So to simplify that, if you want to do the lowest subscription fee and play courses, Foresight is free, Uneekor is $200 a year. If you want to get GS Pro, after the first year free of subscriptions that you get with the Uneekor, then it's going to be $450 a year for the Uneekor. It's going to be $250 if you want to use GS Pro with the Falcon. So slightly more with the Uneekor on subscription fees, but it would still take you, I mean, an extra $200 a year. I mean, you're talking roughly 10, 15 years before they're the same overall price. So price-wise, we're gonna give an edge to the Uneekor EYEXO2. Now, next we're gonna move into setup. The initial setup of these overhead launch monitors takes a little bit of time, maybe 2 to 3 hours. If it's really taking a while, maybe it takes up to a day. But once you have them set up, they're super easy to use. You basically turn the devices on and you're good to go. Like, boot up the program, and you're good. That's all there is to it. Now, next, we're gonna talk about space constraints. If you're building your home golf simulator or a commercial business, this is gonna be crucial. I think you could get by probably with 14 to 13 feet of width with the hitting areas on both devices. Because you don't have to hit on center for either of them, you can make your width a little smaller. 16 feet of depth is the minimum I would do. But if I was gonna run kind of a commercial business bay, I'd probably do 15 feet of width, maybe 16, and I'd want at least 20, 22 feet deep of depth. Now, talking about space, let's talk about the hitting area. We discussed it a little bit earlier, but I'm really gonna give an edge to the Uneekor because their hitting area sizes are about the same. They're probably 2-3 feet wide by 2-3 feet deep. But with the Uneekor, you can place that anywhere on there and get your club and ball data metrics. If you wanna use the Foresight Falcon, you have to like hit in a small area offset to the left or right side if you want club data for lefties and righties. And I'm just not a big fan of that. I feel like they should be able to figure out how to get your accurate club data no matter where you place it on the map. Next, we're gonna talk about simulator programs. If you aren't gonna get GS Pro, I'm a fan of the Foresight software over the Uneekor software. I think the graphics are better. I think it's just more clean, more features. You could use it as a club fitter. You could play really good courses on it. If you do want to get GS Pro, which is what we recommend, then both devices are essentially the same. But remember, after those promo periods of free subscription fees with both of the devices, then Uneekor has a $200 a year subscription fee plus the GS Pro fee, and the Foresight Falcon has no fee for their default software, but then you're $250 a year for GS Pro. All right, next up, let's talk about responsiveness. Guys, they're top of the line. As soon as you hit that ball, it shows up on the screen almost instantly. We're gonna give that a tie. Now, going into something very important, so listen close. We're gonna talk about my least favorite subject in all of golf simulators, and that is putting. It's the hill I'm willing to die on. I say it every video. My advice: stop putting on a golf simulator, especially if you run a commercial business. Here's why. It takes a group of 4 guys roughly an hour longer to play 18 holes with putting involved. The auto putt features are just as fun, and the other part, I don't think you get better at putting in real life by putting on a golf simulator. So in our opinion, play more holes in a quicker amount of time. Don't putt on a golf simulator, and if you're running a commercial business, you can get people through faster, and if you're running it out by hour, I'm telling you, if I'm a golfer, I would rather play 18 holes in 2 hours as opposed to 9 holes in 2 hours with 4 guys. So that's just my 2 cents. You can do what you want to do, but we always throw that in there because it's the hill we're willing to die on. All right, next we'll talk about lefties and righties. If you deal with lefties and righties a lot, these are both great devices. They're overhead, so they sit above you, can seamlessly integrate lefty and righty play, which is very important to me because I am a lefty. Now, next we're gonna talk about the cons of each device. I think if you watch the video, it seems like it's pretty clear we like the Uneekor better. And we do. We did buy the Uneekor over the Foresight Falcon with our own money. But I will say one thing I really miss from the Foresight Falcon is how accurate that club data was. I just felt like every club data metric I got was exactly right. Where with the Uneekor, I bet my averages over time are the same, but I get enough metrics where I can look at the video replay and the photo impact and go, you know what, I don't think that matches up. Like, it's saying I'm 10 degrees close on my club face, but it looks pretty square on the picture. So, well, that's more of just kind of a gut feeling off of testing all these devices. I really do miss the club data accuracy of the Foresight Falcon. But we got to talk about cons of the Falcon, and there's some big ones. One, to get that club data accuracy, you need to put 4 stickers on every club. That's insane. I don't want to do that. And because even when I do, I go play around, some of them get hit off. I have to put more on. I'm not going to put them on for buddies. None of my buddies get club data. So that's a pretty big con of the Foresight Falcon. And then I would say probably my biggest con is the fact that it doesn't have video replay of your club. I think the Foresight Falcon at this price tag should 100% have it. And I think it's a shame on Foresight that they don't, considering every other competitor, more expensive and less expensive, has it. Now, getting into that, let's talk about the cons of the Uneekor EYEXO2. For me, the only con I have in the entire device is the accuracy of the club data. Now, again, I'm gonna reiterate, club data accuracy has no effect on the ball, what your ball is doing in the game on your simulator program. So don't think when I say the club data accuracy isn't spot on all the time that it's gonna affect like how your ball flight goes. It doesn't. And the reason we still went with the Uneekor EYEXO2, even though the club data isn't as accurate, is because of that video replay and photo impact of your club. Regardless of what the numbers tell me, I can just go look at my video replay and photo impact and see exactly what it's doing. So because of the video replay and photo impact, you don't necessarily need all of the club data because you can visually see it, which is awesome. And even though you can get the graphic on the Foresight Falcon of the club path, face angle, face impact, it's just different when you can see a video and an actual photo. I think people just learn quicker with that versus like the graphic of it. And besides that, guys, I know I gave a couple of cons, but trust me when I tell you, when we've tested essentially every single golf simulator on the market, launch monitor, golf simulator, whatever you want to call it, these are 2 of the top 3. They are incredible devices, and you really can't go wrong with either one. So with all that being said, what are my final thoughts? I would say for me, if I was doing club fitting or really professional, detailed instruction, I'm probably going with the Foresight Falcon. But for every other instance, I'm gonna go with the Uneekor EYEXO2, and I really think you could still do a good job club fitting with the Uneekor EYEXO2. And the reason for that, you got the video replay, you got the photo impact, and the averages of the club data are essentially gonna be the same as the Foresight Falcon, even if shot to shot, it's not always as consistent as the Foresight Falcon. So either way, guys, I hope this video helped you figure out which one is best for you. And if you wanna get either of these devices as cheap as possible, use our discount codes and links in the description. And if you have any questions, email us at golfbustersofficial@gmail.com, and we'll see you in the next one.